Hello everyone, my name is Marianne Schertenleib. I'm 35 years old and I'm a dream analyst. I'm so passionate about dreams and their interpretation that I've decided to make it my profession. I offer individual dream analysis sessions and workshops to learn dream interpretation. I work remotely or face-to-face in France and Dijon, in French, English and German. I also give regular talks on dreams on subjects such as dreams and work, dreams and health, sexuality in dreams, or death and birth in dreams. I gave the following presentation for the International Association for the Study of Dreams, IASD. This year's Dream Conference was held in the Netherlands, not too far from France where I come from, so it was possible for me to attend. I wondered how I could contribute. There's something special about me. I have a bipolar disorder, which is a mood disorder. My purpose today is to show you how my dreams shed light on my bipolarity. I'm going to use examples from my dream journal, which I've been keeping since 2018. First, I'll tell you how dreams confirmed my bipolarity, then how they helped me accept the treatment, and finally, how they encouraged me to activate my protective factors for greater stability. Dreams have confirmed my bipolarity. What is a bipolar disorder? It used to be called manic depression. It's a mood disorder that alternates between phases of depression, low phases, phases of elation, high phases, called mania or hypomania, and periods of euthymia when mood is normal and stable. The mood swings occur when there's a chemical imbalance in the levels of neurotransmitters in the brain. Symptoms vary from person to person, so there are almost as many bipolar disorders as there are people affected. Today, my bipolar disorder is stabilized. It took me a long time, though, to recognize and accept that I had a bipolar disorder. My dreams played an important role in my acceptance of this illness. How? They showcased my extreme mood swings with vivid imagery, so that I could no longer turn a blind eye to the disorder. I'll tell you now about the dream that made the biggest impression on me. The day before the dream, I had been thinking about the changes I wanted to see in my life and in myself in order to get ready for a new relationship so as not to repeat old patterns. I realized that my mood swings would probably be difficult to bear for my future partner. Here's the dream. I'm looking at a circuit of small trains resting on high pillars. There are slopes and tight bends. It seems quite dangerous. The pillars move as if they were walking and vary in height, constantly lengthening or shortening. The rays are flexible and the whole track moves, creating new bends and new reliefs. When you're underneath it, it's very dangerous. A walking pillar or the rays could crush you. You can't build anything underneath it, nor create a garden, nor plant trees, because there's always the risk of everything being crushed by the circuit. What does this dream mean? I never use a dictionary of symbols to interpret a dream. Instead, I collect the dreamer's personal associations, in this case, my own associations. I most often use the dream interview method of American psychologist Gail Delaney. In this dream, the main symbol is the roller coaster. So I asked myself two questions. What is a roller coaster? And what is a roller coaster like? I define it as a thrill ride going up and down steep slopes. I find it very intense and scary. The roller coaster reminds me of my bipolar disorder, with its highs and lows. And yes, life with bipolar disorder can be intense and scary. Now, there's something special about the roller coaster in the dream. It seems to move of its own accord. The circuit is never twice the same, but changes constantly and in a totally unpredictable way. That makes me think of when I suddenly go from one phase to another. Back then, a phase of elation or a phase of depression could occur at any time without warning. I would now like to focus on the second part of the dream, which says, when you're underneath the circuit, it's very dangerous. A walking pillar or the rays could crush you. You can't build anything underneath it, because there's always the risk of everything being crushed by the circuit. This excerpt shows that there are two sorts of danger. First, the low phase can hit me and crush me at any moment. It could even kill me, since the risk of suicide is high. Second, depression also risks destroying everything I'd like to build in my life. Depression is characterized by extreme physical exhaustion and a total paralysis of will, making it impossible to do anything. All projects come to a halt. Thanks to this dream, I became aware of the seriousness of my mood disorder, its dangers, and the handicap it represented, especially for my plans to meet someone at the time of the dream. Seeking medical support became my New Year's resolution. I went to 3 different psychiatrists for an official diagnosis, and they all agreed that I had type 2 bipolar disorder. Dreams have helped me accept the treatment. Once I'd been diagnosed, I wondered about medication. It scared me a lot. I was afraid of the side effects, or that my personality would change under the effect of the medication. I received a helpful dream 1 month after the diagnosis. On the eve of the dream, I had discussed with a friend whether or not to take medication. I told him I was considering taking the contraceptive pill because it stabilizes hormones. Maybe it would have a stabilizing effect on moods too. Some of my friends would testify to that. Here's what's happened in the dream. I'm hearing a documentary explaining that lithium has been used for decades in the treatment of bipolar disorder. I head for a small TV. They're explaining how lithium works. I'm interested because I don't know what it actually does in the brain. We see lithium in the brain represented by little golden grains, which neutralize certain toxic molecules linked to anxiety and stress, while also protecting other beneficial molecules and brain cells. Next, I look at a table of possible treatments, combinations of molecules, and mood stabilizers. I see a new lithium treatment in liquid form. Then, I see myself pouring this tincture of lithium into a teaspoon and swallowing it. I tell myself, I'll give it a try. It's as if, after the documentary and the table of possible treatments, it seemed like the right thing to do, as it appeared to be the most natural treatment. And I woke up astonished. I was very surprised, because lithium was the drug I was most afraid of at the time. And in the dream, it's precisely the one I opt for. The dream acts here as a counterbalance, opening me up to another point of view. My dreams know that I like to understand how things work, that it reassures me, so they featured a plausible explanation of how lithium works. The dream presents lithium as natural, and it is in fact a mineral salt found in the water of certain regions. After this dream, I decided to take homeopathic liquid lithium, which is sold over the counter in France. Of course, I asked my doctor for advice, and he told me it was safe, but that it wouldn't be effective at this low dose. I decided to give it a try anyway. So I started taking a, quote, drug, unquote, every day, which was a huge step towards accepting my illness and treatment. 6 months later, I was ready to follow my doctor's advice, who recommended another mood-stabilizing treatment. Dreams monitor my protective factors. What are protective factors? They are all the measures we take and habits we put in place on a daily basis to promote stability. I took part in a therapeutic education program in order to learn strategies which are useful in reducing mood swings. During this program, I realized that for years, my dreams had already been closely monitoring these various protective factors. I'm now going to tell you about several dreams related to these multiple pillars of stability. Sleep. A regular sleep schedule is a key factor for stability. Too little sleep can quickly trigger a high or a low phase. On the other hand, too much sleep is a symptom of low phases. So my dreams keep a close eye on my sleep. I'd like to share a dream with you on this subject. The dream took place when I had been in a depressive phase for a few days. I found it hard to get up in the morning. I didn't feel like doing anything, so I went back to sleep several times. I was escaping into sleep. And then I blamed myself for getting up so late. One morning, I'm woken up by my alarm clock. I reach for my cell phone to turn it off, only to realize it's not ringing, since I'd turned it off a few days earlier. So my alarm only went off in my dream. Now, this dream made me smile. It seemed to think that I was sleeping too much. So I set my alarm clock again the following days. Physical activity. It has a beneficial effect on energy levels and on our brain, which secretes endorphins and dopamine, known as the happy hormones. These molecules help relieve depression. I received the following dream when I was working part-time and taking a dream interpretation course at the same time. I was feeling extremely tired and I was thinking about taking a sick leave. I received a text in my dream, full of emojis encouraging me to exercise. According to the dream, all I had to do was exercise, not take a sick leave. I followed the dream's advice and soon felt energized. Nutrition. A balanced diet is a key factor in mental health. In fact, for a long time I was almost a vegetarian, but dreams would periodically invite me to eat meat to make me less tired. I would dream of buying chicken or eating beef. And as the symbolic study of these dreams yielded nothing, I took them literally and bought some meat, which is good against anemia and therefore against tiredness. Proteins also help synthesize neurotransmitters in the brain. Work rhythm. My dreams make sure that I don't overdo it, that I respect the rhythm that's right for me. Here's an example. On the eve of the dream, I worked all day until late at night, sorting out some paperwork. By the time I went to bed, I was so exhausted that my spirits plummeted. In the dream, I have to park, but I'm having trouble parking. I say out loud, I don't know how to park. In real life, of course, I know how to park. What does parking represent here? When in a car, parking means stopping. So we can rephrase the dream. I have to stop, but I have trouble stopping. I don't know how to stop. The day before, I was so full of motivation that I worked too hard. I didn't know how to stop before I was totally exhausted, which had a devastating effect on my mood. Hobbies. Doing things you enjoy in your daily life promotes mood balance. Certain activities help you calm down when you're feeling high or avoid falling into depression by reactivating the brain's pleasure circuit. I'd like to share with you a dream that congratulated me on starting a new activity. The day before the dream, I had gone to my first drawing class. I'd also been to the physio for knee problems. The physio and I laughed because we could see my toes moving through my sneakers when working on my balance. The dream goes as follows. I look at my foot. I see a little ball of flesh growing next to my little toe. It becomes a sixth toe. How bizarre! I'm amazed. As I had learned humorously the previous day, a toe is a part of the foot that plays an important role in maintaining balance. So this image of a new toe growing on my foot meant I was developing a new way of keeping my balance. I listed my protective factors so far. Sleep, sport, diet, an adapted work rhythm, friends, and 6. What had I just added to my daily life? Drawing, of course. It turned out to be the 6th pillar of my stability. I'm still drawing to this day. It helps me calm down and refocus during the high phases and stop negative ruminations during the low phases. Dreams also alert me to the onset of a high phase. This is very useful, as they are harder to spot than depressive phases. You're feeling good, really good, and it's hard to realize that you're doing far too well. In such cases, it's my dreams that sound the alarm. Now let's see what one of these dreams looks like. The day before the dream was typical of a high phase, of my high phases. I had been working hard on my next talk because I had so much energy and was feeling so creative. I had also met a man who seemed very nice, and I wanted to go further, maybe even sleep with him. In my high phases, libido is also high. Then a friend told me about her plans to open a cafe, and I thought, great, I could be the waitress. In the evening, I felt a culinary ecstasy when I ate the food I had cooked. That is because sensory perceptions are heightened. I went to bed feeling so deeply happy with my life. During the night, I had the following dream. I'm sitting on a rope that connects 2 floating balloons. It keeps me in the air. I stand up on the rope and fly higher and higher. There are updrafts. I'm carried along in the air. It's not very stable. In fact, I almost fall. The people below me are watching me. I feel like I'm going to die, that it's all over for me, that I'm going to crash somewhere, or that I'm going to go up into the stratosphere and suffocate or freeze to death. I'll never be heard of again. I fly higher and higher, higher and higher toward the side of a mountain. It's a terrifying sensation. I pass close to a rock promontory and leap onto it. I feel the ground again. I'm relieved. I feel so alive because I'm not going to die. So what did flying higher and higher remind me of? It made me think of the exaltation I felt the day before the dream. My mood had reached new heights. I was on cloud 9. And in my waking life, it delighted me. But the dream was of a different opinion. It warned me that it was unstable and dangerous, that I was flying way too high. The risk of crashing was real. In high phases, exaltation and hyperactivity exhaust the organism and the brain. You burn up all your energy and can fall back into depression all at once. That is why the dream invited me to come down and calm down as soon as possible. In conclusion, we've seen that dreams can confirm something, explain something, introduce another point of view, reassure, encourage, and alert you. Today, if I'm doing well, it's because I'm being supported by therapists, I'm on medication, and I've found dream analysis to be very effective support for my stability and well-being. My personal experience has led me to wonder whether dreams can play a beneficial role in mental health in general. I look forward to exploring this subject in the future. Thank you for your attention. If you'd like to contact me, go on my website or write me an email. Goodbye. Have sweet dreams.